Offseason grades for all 32 NFL teams, and we are going to focus on the New Orleans Saints. This is Check the Mic, 33rd team. All right. Now, we have done a few videos at this point now where people are starting to do these kind of, in totality videos, and the Saints are consistently the worst, if not the worst, in whatever list they're doing. So we know the Saints are going to be ranked poorly here. We're going to react along the way. And I'm going to do what only I can do. Hey, have you heard the news? The store is live. Go buy your merch. Get your merch now. Shirts, mugs, limited quantity. Get it. Get in there. Or be square.
Number 32, the team that is expected to, I think the favorite to be picking number 1 overall next year, New Orleans Saints, with the lowest rated offseason in the composite. C- is the highest. A couple D- is there for the Saints.
Look, I don't know all the rubric here of what the offseason grades are. I don't know if they're counting. I mean, I really don't know, but I just don't understand how you can say that the Saints had a bad offseason. They hired a pretty damn good coach, brand new coaching staff. Like, that alone is okay, cool. That alone is like, all right, sweet. Derek Carr retires, whatever you say about Derek Carr, whatever, if you like Derek Carr or whatever, but it still alleviates $30 million in salary cap issues, which most of these people, I would assume, believe the Saints' biggest issue is their salary cap, right? So that happens, which is good, which is a positive. Free agency is what it is. Justin Reid, okay, cool. You get Chase Young back, whatever. The draft was awesome. 9 draft picks. Kelvin Banks, top 10 pick. Everyone loves him. Cool. Tyler Shuck, whatever. Quincy Riley, we'll see how these guys play out, but it's still 9 picks. It's still a ton of picks for a team that's trying to get younger. I'm not saying that this is all going to play out, and I'm not saying that all these guys are going to be good, and Shuck's going to be good, and Stutzman's going to be good, and Riley's going to be good, and Banks is going to be good, but from where we are sitting right now, how can you look at this offseason as anything but successful? The Saints did exactly what everyone wants them to do. Cleared cap, got younger, got a better coaching staff, outside voices, young, innovative, whatever. What's there not to like about the offseason?
Uncertainty up and down the roster. Tyler Shuck, a 40-year-old rookie quarterback or whatever he is. I keep going back between 25 and 26. I forget the exact number.
He's 25,
but I
will
rounded
be 26.
Up to 40 for this one.
Yeah.
So the Saints are last because the vibes are low. Derek Carr retired this offseason. There's just, more question marks on this roster than any other in the NFL.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That is not the name of the video. The video is off-season grades for all 32 NFL teams. Whatever you think the Saints are going to be in the season, whatever. That's all fine. But for what they were supposed to do or what they needed to accomplish or whatever the verbiage is for the off-season, I don't know how this isn't incredibly successful. Just Kellen Moore alone, just hiring Kellen Moore, just bringing in Brandon Staley, just the coaching staff, that alone should bump this grade up.
Yeah, I mean, it is like they felt like the team the most at the, without a quarterback when the music stopped again, to use that analogy. And it almost felt like it was made worse by the Carr sort of thing. It felt surprising, though I don't know if it was for them. But they went from Derek Carr as your quarterback, and that's not a terrible situation to be in, to actually now you have the most depressing quarterback training camp battle of all time in 40-year-old, apparently, Tyler Shuck, rookie, and then Spencer Rattler, and then Jake Hayner. This is just whoever wins, it's awful. So yeah, it doesn't feel good for the Saints, but I think it's more the reflection of just where they are as a franchise right now. They're in pain. They're in a bad spot. I don't know that you.
The Saints were in a bad spot. They were in a bad spot with an aging roster, rudderless at coach, horrific coaching situation, Derek Carr, whatever, salary cap problems, all that stuff was bad. Rock bottom happened. Last year sucked. Injuries sucked. Okay? Unless I misclicked a video and this is a 2024 retrospective, then why are we talking about any of that? Yeah, it was not sweet. But good news. The Saints have remedied all of those issues. Okay, they've taken a sledgehammer and they are renovating. We are renovating the house. Okay? It is like if you stayed in a hotel and the hotel didn't have any hot water, and then they got a brand new hot water heater, and you're sitting here going like, yeah, man, that place really sucked. They have no hot water. It's like, okay, but now they do. They've done what they had to do to fix the hot water issue. They have a new hot water tank. So all of the no hot water thing doesn't really matter right now. That's a retrospective. That's not part of the preview. I don't see. I'm really trying to rack my brain here of why the offseason would be considered a failure. What else could they have done? Or two part. One, where is the mistakes? Kellen Moore is not a mistake. Great hire. Exactly what we needed. Young, innovative, offensive-minded, experienced, comes from a winning situation. All that's cool. Check mark. A+ for Kellen Moore. Draft. What did everyone say to do? Hold on to your draft picks. Don't trade up. Don't do all that stuff. Just get young talent. Cool. Got 9 picks. Sweet. Top 10 pick. Hey, man, don't take Jackson Dart. Don't take Shedeur Sanders. Take a sure thing. Kelvin Banks. Boom. Okay, that's awesome. Free agency. Don't go make some insane contracts. Don't go overspend. Don't do this. You're trying to get the salary cap in the right direction. Okay, cool. We did that. What's the problem?
Look at this and say overall, again, judging by process, judging by what position were you in when you had to make all these moves, I don't know if they've done a terrible job this offseason.
Okay, well then I'm confused. If that's the case, then I'm a little confused of what the GPA 1.02 is. I'm a little confused of these rankings, and I'm a little confused of the title of this video because you're sitting here. Don't look at me like that, Sam. Because you're sitting here on this video with the offseason grade for the NFL team, and I'm looking at a 1.02, 32 out of 32 for the New Orleans Saints, and right after this segment starts, now you come up here and lie to my face and say, well, actually, now that I've taken a second, I'm not sure they've done a bad job. Well, we might need to pause the video.
Quarterback was going to suck, whatever, right? They didn't have a shot at Cam Ward. So they were in the same boat as everybody else, which is, do we draft a guy right at the top or do we try and do something a little unconventional? They've decided Tyler Shuck is the best, the most likely of that second wave of quarterbacks to do anything. And I mean, who's to say they're wrong necessarily?
Right. So they addressed the situation. We can't judge if it will be good or bad. All we can judge is what the mechanisms of what they're doing in the offseason. They realize the quarterback is a need, and they address it the way they addressed it.
They re-signed Chase Young. I think that was good business.
Yep.
They re-signed Juwan Johnson. I think that was good business. They've lost a couple of guys in free agency, but nobody that I would be panicking about. Their draft, I think, other than Tyler Shuck being the guy that they need to work out. Kelvin Banks in the first round, I think, is smart. And, you needed everyone thought they were going to draft the quarterback at 9, right? But would you think that this was a better offseason if they drafted Shedeur Sanders at 9 and had someone random in the second round? No,
that's where we're at. And I'm getting pissed off. That's where we're at. Is because look, honestly, I like these guys. I like this show. I think they do a good job. But this is just bottom of the barrel. Is when I keep hearing this kind of stuff over and over and over again. And here's the fact of the matter: if they would have drafted Shedeur Sanders 5 rounds too early at 9, or if they would have taken Jackson Dart 15 picks too early at 9, they would have a higher grade. And that's the fact. They would have a higher grade because it'd be an easy narrative to attach. It'd be an easy copy and paste. It'd be an easy Like, oh, they took a quarterback top 10, blah, 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 and then whatever. What we know now, that would have been a horrible pick. That would have been a horrific pick. Okay? Would have been a reach either guy. Who's to say Tyler Shuck isn't the best quarterback in the class? We don't know. Like, this isn't about how you grade Tyler Shuck. This is about the offseason grade, right? So, even the quarterback thing, the Saints did the smart thing in not taking a quarterback at 9. It would have obviously been a huge reach. One, because Dart goes later on, and Sanders doesn't go for 5 rounds. I mean, I don't even know why we're talking about Shedeur. Right? Jalen Milroe went before him. Dylan Gabriel went before him. All right, so we are still getting wrapped up in this. Tyler Shuck is 25 years old, whatever. Like that. Like, how's that part of this conversation? It's nuts. We're too far into this. We've seen minicamp. We've seen him throw. We've seen him and Spencer Rattler battle it out. What's going on? The salary cap, good spot, cool. And this is what, like, if I was the New Orleans Saints, this would drive me crazy. If all season I keep hearing you're old and you're in salary cap hell, and then you immediately fix the salary cap and you bring in a ton of young players, and now people are like, I'm going to give them a 1.02, 32 out of 32 on the offseason. This team's an absolute joke. It's like, what the hell? We just did what y'all wanted us to do. And we just brought in the Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator as our head coach. What the hell is this? We just completely revamped the entire staff.
So I don't think you can kill them for that.
I'm at the point where I'm kind of glad. If I'm a Saints fan, I'm glad that they don't rank higher in the offseason, because that would probably mean that they're quadrupling down and signing all these free agents that they can't afford.
What does that even mean? Is that all the offseason is? Just signing free agents? Is that it? Is that it? It's like there's a whole lot more to the offseason. Like hiring a completely new staff, the draft, re-signing and restructuring your own players. No, it doesn't mean that. We should be ranked higher because we had a good offseason regardless of free agency. A good offseason does not have, or an active offseason or whatever, doesn't mean you're just splashing cash in free agency. There's a lot of different segments.
And I thought months ago, you and Jason Fitzgerald, like when they started trading Marshawn Lattimore and look into the future, you and Jason Fitzgerald of Over the Cap had a really good breakdown of where the Saints are. And you hinted at it, life cycle. This is where they are. The same thing I said about the Niners. This is just where they are as a franchise. So they're going to rank low on these lists because they're one of the least talented teams in the NFL right now. And if you didn't love their draft, then you're probably not going to love their offseason because, again, more going out the door than coming in. But the guys that came in the door, I agree. Like Chase Young, yeah, that's good value for a couple of years given the edge market and where he is as a player. So it's just where the Saints are. I don't think it's going to feel great for a while. They have to get younger, and they have to hit on these draft picks.
Damn it! We are getting younger. We just brought in 9 picks. I know I keep beating a dead horse here, ladies and gentlemen, but it absolutely befuddles me. Like, if you look at the entire offseason, I want you to grade it. You don't have to type in the comments. But just to yourself, just get you a piece of loose leaf paper or something. Here's the offseason. Kellen Moore, head coach / OC. Brandon Staley, DC, and then all of their staff. Okay, so put that in its own bucket. Coaching staff turnover. The next bucket, Derek Carr retirement, which in the long run is a positive. We cleared the $30 million in salary cap issues. Move forward. We're not stuck in this this is part of the Dennis Allen era. Overall, long term, it's a positive. Is Derek Carr better than Tyler Shuck or Spencer Rattler? That can be debatable, but as far as moving forward, an off season, whatever, needed to happen. Okay, could have been a whole lot worse. Re-signing your own players, restructuring your own players. We let some players walk who got crazy money. We kept players for a good business, as they say. Then you go to free agency. Justin Reid, feel pretty good about that. Brandon Cooks, feel pretty good about that. Okay, nothing splashy, but again, we don't need to be spending a ton of money in free agency. Go to the draft. Did y'all have a problem with the draft? We didn't blow through picks. We didn't reach with the 9th overall pick. We didn't get fooled into taking a quarterback at 9. We took Kelvin Banks. We got a lot of good players, a lot of experienced players. Danny Stutzman late. Guys who have contributed, guys who, like I said, are experienced and produced and will produce or will be expected to produce now. And now we're sitting here. So where in that whole thing I just said, besides the Tyler Shuck pick, because that's all they've talked about, besides that, where is all these F's and D's that's going to drop the Saints to the worst offseason grade in the NFL? That's my question. What actually did they do wrong this offseason?
But they're getting out of the cap misery that they've been in the last couple of years, and it's a part of the rebuild. It's
also another example, I think, though, of how like the standard across the league has been raised, and like the Saints apparently had the worst offseason of any football team in the league this year, and I don't think it was bad. Like, I don't think this is a catastrophe. Obviously, the fact that they don't have the situation is bad.
Totally separate. The roster situation, wins, losses, that's completely separate than this conversation right here.
The fact that they don't have a starting quarterback and they have one of the most depressing camp battles of all time, that's bad, right? But given what they were dealt with going into this offseason, I don't think that their process was horrific. And the last 5 teams you just rattled off, a couple of those, I think the Browns had a good offseason, actually, not even a bad one. And
I think the Browns did a really good job trading for Kenny Pickett, getting Joe Flacco, drafting Dylan Gabriel 3rd overall, then 3rd round, and then drafting Shedeur Sanders. I think that was awesome. No, yeah, I think the Browns they're nailing big business over there.
Debated the other teams. I think again, it's just another example of the floor has been raised. Nobody is a catastrophe anymore. There is no joke of a franchise fumbling around in the dark in free agency and the draft, having absurd left field day 3 picks drafted in the top of the 2nd round. Nobody's doing that anymore. Everyone has gotten good at this. And so, yeah, if you're grading the entire league on a curve and somebody's got to have an A and somebody's got to have an F, then yeah, the Saints may be the bottom team on the totem pole. But I don't think that this is I don't think that this is the way it used to be, where there were genuinely embarrassing franchises year on year.
Yeah, but as long as there's zero-sum game, you either win or lose your games. It's not all going to show up, right?
The Jaguars trade to take Travis Hunter is worse than anything the Saints did this offseason. That decision alone was worse than anything the Saints did. 100%. The Bengals completely mutilating the contract dispute with not only Trey Hendrickson but Shamar Stewart is worse than anything the Saints have done. 100%. Where the hell are the Bengals on here? My preview's not even working. Where are the Bengals? Because what they continue to do, it's been a catastrophe, as an absolute catastrophe.
You're going to feel good about 25 out of 32 teams going into the season, but somebody has to lose, right? So
right. And look, Sports Debate Arena in the chat is saying passing up Sanders in the 2nd round for Tyler Shuck is horrific process.
He did. I just got goosebumps. I keep seeing this in my own comments. Guys, I'm not sure if you're down in Bikini Bottom living under a rock with Patrick Starr, but wake that ass up, because Shedeur Sanders was taken in the 5th round. So to say the Saints should have taken him in the 2nd round, you already have the evidence. You know where Shedeur Sanders went, the 5th. So if anything, you should say, well, the Saints should have taken a wide receiver in the 2nd round and then taken Shedeur in the 4th round or the 5th round or whatever. But to say, nah, they should have burned 3 rounds of value and reached on a player by 3 rounds. They should have done that. You're telling on yourself. Delete your comment, delete your account, quit watching football, go play Minecraft. That's what you should be doing. If you're in a fantasy football draft and you draft somebody in the second round, knowing they have a 5th round or 6th round grade, enjoy last place. It's crazy what I continue to keep hearing about this team. And I'm not even being a homer here. I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying it's going to be a 10-win team. All these guys are going to be all pros. Tyler Shuck's going to work out. I don't even know if he's going to be starting. Spencer Rattler could be starting. The point is, what they're saying in this video does not match up with that grade, and it does not match up with what they're saying right now. The title, the grade, and what they're saying does not add up. I'll tell you exactly what happened. Everybody put the Saints last, so they put the Saints last, and when it came time to defend the Saints being last, they can't do it. And they're sitting here going, yeah, someone's got to be last. It is what it is. They could have been 25, or maybe they're 32. I don't know. Who knows? LOL. That's it. And this is what it's become. And this is what happens outside of this channel, is you get this kind of garbage right here.
I would take Shedeur Sanders in the second round way before I took Tyler Shuck. But you can't ignore the fact that 32 teams said the opposite.
No, you can't. So go to Best Buy, get you a headset and a keyboard and whatever else, and enjoy Minecraft. Because, I cannot believe he just said that. I cannot believe that. I might mail him a Overwatch gift card so he can buy some Overwatch skins and start playing that, because this is despicable. What we know now, and this man's going to sit up here and say, I would have taken Shedeur Sanders in the second round over Tyler Shuck, even though the entire NFL, including the Browns, passed on him for 5 rounds.
32 teams let Shedeur Sanders fall way further than that. And you can't dismiss that as an inconsequential piece of information.
But that's also because we were missing a lot of the.
No, I would have taken Quinn Ewers 9th overall. Oh, yeah, no doubt. The entire NFL let him slip to the 7th round or whatever it was. Yeah, but I would have taken him. I think he's better than Tyler. Yeah, no doubt.
Off-field information, the interviews, we were missing a lot of that information going forward.
Yeah, but you have it now. So why are you saying it now? You have the information. You know where he was drafted. You know he was driving 101 miles an hour 4 days ago. You know what happened with the interviews. So why are you saying that right now? When was this video? This video was streamed 3 hours ago. This video was from 3 hours ago. 3. Well, we didn't have the information. Okay. Well, why are you drooling all over yourself right here?
Forward. And let's just, I want to remind our smart listeners, the one thing you shouldn't be overly confident in is your own quarterback opinions.
Hey, spoiler alert, ladies and gentlemen. If your quarterback opinion is off by 5 rounds, quit doing quarterback opinions. I'm talking to you, Mel Kiper. If you think Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft and the entire NFL says, no, actually he's a 5th round pick, you might want to do something else. Go watch Love Island. Take a freaking walk. All right? So, yeah, if I would have been sitting up here saying, yeah, I think Quinn Ewers is the best quarterback in the draft, and he basically goes undrafted, I would have had to go back to the drawing board. I would have had to go take a silence retreat. I would have had to go hang out in an ayahuasca camp. Or I could have just went to the fentanyl den a block over from where I live. Hang out over there. Moonwalk with Jesus.
Shouldn't. And no, I don't think anyone should. And so I think the smart thing is to have less confidence in those opinions and take more swings, which is why I think taking Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel is good process.
And by the way,
going all in on one guy and saying, I know exactly what I'm going to get.
Well, the Titans should have taken, well, then why didn't the Titans take Cam Ward, and then they could have taken Jalen Milroe, and then they could have taken Quinn Ewers, and they could have taken Jamarcus Russell, and then they could have taken me, and then, who cares? It's been a great process. F it. That would have been money. What are the Titans doing? What are these teams doing? Why just take one quarterback when you can have them all? Yeah. I think the Browns, look, I love what the Browns did. Take Joe Flacco, get Kenny Pickett, bring in Dylan Gabriel, have Deshaun Watson absolutely terrorizing every massage parlor in the entire Cleveland area. Take Shedeur Sanders. Why stop there? See what Bernie Kosar is doing, or go find Tim Couch. Let's just go get them all. Just roll out 14 quarterbacks. Great process.
Isn't smart because we've seen all the failures. And we've seen all the fail on both ends, right? Guy you didn't love is good. Guy that you did love is not good. It's too risky to go all in on just one opinion.
It's also not as simple as I just made it sound, which is, 32 NFL teams believe that Shedeur Sanders was at best a 5th-round draft pick, because there's only so many teams had an opening as a starter. And then once those guys go somewhere else, the math changes, right? Not everybody is looking for a potential headache to be a backup, to be a 3rd-string quarterback. So it's entirely conceivable that other teams.
Not everyone is looking for a headache to be a 3rd-string quarterback, and yet you want to take him in the 2nd round.
Ranked him or graded him higher than that, but didn't have the need or didn't want the headache to deal with, et cetera, et cetera. My point being, just because you think he's better doesn't mean that you can say, well, it's a terrible process to have Tyler Shough ahead, right? I think Shedeur Sanders was a better quarterback, and I think the gamble is worth it, that I would take him higher than that, and I would go with that. But somebody else saying, I believe Tyler Shough is that guy over Sanders, I mean, all right, it's not.
Why are we talking about Shedeur Sanders? What about the quarterbacks that were taken ahead of Shedeur Sanders? Why are we talking about Shedeur? Why not Jalen? Why not Dylan Gabriel? What the conversation should be, well, is Tyler Shough better than Jalen Milroe? Should they have taken Jalen Milroe? They're a little closer in draft picks. But again, these guys aren't even thinking about Jalen Milroe. They aren't even thinking about Dylan Gabriel. It's just narrative and copy and paste, and this is the world we live in, and ain't nobody doing nothing except me. And God, I love being me, and God, I love being the best on this platform, and I love that I get to put 2 videos minimum out a day for you guys, and I get to put on a show. That's what I love. And I love laying in bed at night and thinking, and laying there, staring up at the ceiling with the glow-in-the-dark stars all over the place. And I love knowing that y'all get to watch my content instead of watching this kind of stuff and watching NFL Live or watching First Take or watching Stephen A. Smith pick his favorite Pokemon in between debating between the Iran and Israel conflict or whatever the hell he's doing nowadays. That's what I love. I love talking ball. I love knowing that when you come here and you click play on this channel and you sit down and you watch a video, it's nothing but ball. Okay? That's what I love. That's what I love.
It's not so crazy that I'm like, that's a joke of a process that you've come to that conclusion. You need to blow up your entire, system and start over. Like, it's just, I understand how you could come to that conclusion.
And when we talk process, look, if I said, the Jets had terrible process by going to get Aaron Rodgers, look how it didn't work out. I thought the process was fine.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. And now they're in the same boat that they were 2 years ago without.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's exactly what I was saying 25 minutes ago about them saying, well, this, Saints F-. The results, separate. The mechanism in which the Saints tried to fix their issues, that's what we're talking about. So we should be focused on the process. That's it. And just like these guys have stammered around for the last however many minutes, all they have said has been positive for the Saints process.
Out a quarterback. They took a shot. It didn't work out. And you take a shot again and try again. So here we are. Anyway, good show. Last line.
Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Get out of here. Get out of my face with this. Get sickening. Buy a shirt, buy a mug. I'll see you in the next video.